Welcome to DFS Insights, where the game behind the game comes to life. I am David Geislinger, and alongside me is David Grant Jr., my cousin and co-strategist. The teams up on the block are the Dallas Mavericks at the Boston Celtics.
Tonight, we're zeroing in on game one of the Dallas Mavericks at the Boston Celtics for the NBA Finals. David and I will dive deep into the three players that we like most for this specific game in the series. We're going to break down the strategy behind our picks and share the insights that will help put your lineups over the top and into the money.
Yeah, nice. Here, we're back. So welcome back. Thanks for joining us here at the NBA Finals. Dallas Mavericks are going into Boston here, so. Yeah, let's not waste any time. We've been gone long enough. Took a week off from the NBA, so now we have like 6 weeks of the NBA Finals. I think they spread out the games ridiculous. It's like one every 3 or 4 days or something like that. So here it is, game one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go first. Head over to the previous game. It happened back in March 1st. It's kind of one of the better of the games I did find. So top three fantasy producers of that: Luka for Dallas, Lively, and then PJ Washington. And then top three for Boston was Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and White. Boston ended up winning that one, 138 to 110. It does look like all the key players did play. It doesn't look like they have the same rotation. As you can see, Derek Jones only had about 6-7 minutes. So Exum or whatever had 15 minutes. So Tim Hardaway had 20. So keep that in mind. This is not the same lineup that has been going on in the playoffs. So with that, let's go over here into game one. So Boston is favored, 6.5 point favorites, which is, I think, pretty extreme there, in my own opinion. Vegas has it over under 214.5, pretty high scoring. So stat wise for the entire playoffs, Boston Celtics offensive rating 119.6, which is third best out of everybody that played in the playoffs. 108.7 defensive rating, which was offensive was second best, defensive was third best, and they have a 92.45 pace. A little slow, but I mean Dallas is at a 93.6, so it's about equal. Boston might get a little bump there, but Dallas offensive rating 115.2. That is sixth best out of the 16 teams in the playoffs, and then their seventh best in defensive rating, which is a 111.1. Good news is Porzingis game time decision tag got removed. However, they decided that Luka needed one, the day before after taking a whole week off, and these lineups have been there. He's probable. He's expected to play. I don't see any reason he does not play. However, obviously, please keep in mind, watch it. Crazy things can happen.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Let's move on in here to our key plays. Let's go ahead and you can go ahead and start it off here, David. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start off with Mr. Jason Tatum. We really have kind of, as you mentioned, kind of one sample size of what these teams look like facing each other with their current rosters. And with that, it was 110 to 138. Beyond that, Dallas has lost the last 4 regular season games to Boston. So that is something to take note of also. Jason Tatum, he's the leader of this team. It's really going to come down. It's kind of like him versus Luka. Which one of them is going to step up and get their first ring? And I got Boston in this series as much as I like Luka, and I think Luka can put the team on his back. I think that Boston is just going to be too much for Dallas to handle. I don't think their great defense that we've been seeing sporadically as of late is going to continue against this fast-paced Boston team and this efficient scoring Boston team. So, Jason Tatum in that game, he shot 10 for 19, played 37 minutes, went 7 from 7 at the line, had 8 boards, 3 assists. So, Luka Doncic is going to be so high owned that playing in this, in this tournament with 35,000 people, you're going to have to differentiate, and Tatum is going to be much lower at the MVP than Luka. So I really like Tatum at the MVP. And if you're not putting him at the MVP, obviously put him at the star position.
Yeah.
So that's my first play. What do you think? And who you got here for your first play?
Yeah, no, I like Tatum. He's coming in second most usage on the team at like 28.6, next to Jaylen Brown. There, he's getting the most, averaging the most minutes, 43.4. So obviously, he's a play. The only question that comes to mind is like, where do you play him? Because I think Doncic will obviously, Luka will have probably the highest ownership at MVP, but I think Tatum will be very, very close. I'm thinking I don't have any, my usual projections up for the ownership for this game one, but if I had to guess, Luka's going to be anywhere from 40 to 50, and I think Tatum's probably like, you know, 30 to 40. So you are going to get, the advantage of putting Tatum up there in MVP. I think he'll be pretty chalky in the star position. So, but yeah, no, like the play. I'll definitely be having him in both positions for sure. So.
Nice. Right on. Who do you got here for your first play?
First play, I think I'm going to go with, stay on the same side of the ball, Mr. Jaylen Brown. This is my one of my favorite leverage plays here on the slate. I like him at the MVP, coming in at 14K, so he is 3K cheaper than Luka, 1,500 cheaper than Tatum. His minutes 39.7. He's the highest usage player on the team at 30.6. He's averaging all playoffs. These are stats for all playoff games, all series. 38.6. He is projected 42.3. So with that, obviously, I like him in the leverage because, as previously mentioned, Luka is going to be so high owned. Tatum's going to be so high owned, and with 31,372 entries in the 100K to first, you're going to need to set yourself apart. Like, you got to put yourself in that position to get lucky to win that, because if you go Luka Tatum or Tatum Luka, that's going to be like the chalkiest lineup. Now, is it a very good lineup? Yes. Does it have the potential to win? Yes. However, if those lineups do win, I guarantee you the split up top is going to be very chalky. Obviously, I would like to be part of it if that does happen. However, I'm going to put myself in the position to potentially take this down with 1 to 5 people max. So having Brown up in the MVP does put you down. He will probably still be owned in the MVP, but I'm thinking like 10 to 18%, like in the teens. So that right there is setting you apart. So.
If not, I'd say if not lower. This is game one. Ownerships are going to be, a little different than they are obviously in like games 2, 3, and 4. I think this is lowest owned at MVP. I could see it being single digits, to be honest. So that is a great leverage play.
Yeah.
I like that play a lot.
He was 14% owned, averaged in the Indiana the previous series. So.
Okay, yeah. So that'd be through it. I'd be interested to see what he averaged in game one of each of the other series. But yeah, that as an average, like I hear what you're saying. So yeah, I like the pick. Who do you got here for your second pick?
Game one, 12.4 ownership for him.
Yeah. See, okay. See?
Uh,
Yep.
sec-
It'll be his lowest.
yeah, second play, I'm going to go with Mr. P. Oh,
Mm,
PJ Washington. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You guys, no surprise on who my third pick is, but we'll just stick with PJ Washington here. So PJ Washington, I do like him at the pro position, the pro leverage spot. He's coming in at 9,500, 9.5K salary. He's averaging, he's getting the minutes, 39.1. His usage is a little bit lower. I think that took a significant hit in the Minnesota series where he wasn't utilized as much as he was when he was for the OKC series, where Luka kind of looked like he stepped back and let kind of, I guess, quote unquote, the other players shine. But even still, all playoffs he's averaging 27.6, which is pretty. That's decent numbers for the pro position. He's projected about 25. Hopefully, he hits that upper median of his points. So hopefully, obviously, like 30s for him. But yeah, he was at about last series in Minnesota series 11% ownership in the pro. So I like him. Boston just basically gave up 35 plus fantasy points to Siakam last series, which is basically the same position that PJ would be playing. So, if anything, if he just sits in there, he sits in his corner and hits those threes like he has been doing, all for it. So my only concern is Lively's back, Kleebler is back, and so I'm just hoping those minutes stay up there. With that, with them all being back and healthy. So, what do you think about Mr. Washington at my leverage at the pro?
Yeah, that is also my second play as well, and also at the pro position. So we are on the exact same page as that. Again, our best reference game is the game that they played March 1st. And again, PJ Washington played 35 minutes. He got 16 shots. He went and he got 9 3-point attempts. He ended the game with 17 points, 7 rebounds, and a block. So he had the third most shot attempts, which is what we want to see out of a player at his price range. Irving still got up. Kyrie got 23 shot attempts, and Luka had 25. So they still got that, their normal attempts. And so it's good to see PJ was that third guy in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I still see him getting those upper minutes that he's man, the way Boston is able to, every one of their players can basically shoot the three. If Dallas is going to hang, they're going to need someone like PJ Washington having a high 3-point percentage, along with the rest of their crew, if they're going to end up being able to compete with Boston.
Yeah.
So, love that play. That is also my second play. So that's awesome. I'll go ahead and get over to my final play. I'm going to go ahead and go with Pritchard from the Celtics. I really like Peyton Pritchard, and you know, even if it's not a blowout, he's going to get minutes. He'll get anywhere from probably 14, and he could possibly see as high as 20, 22 to 24 minutes. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, he's another guy that's going to get out there. He's very efficient. He kind of does a little bit of everything. And if you need a player that is lower in salary at that, 7K, 7,500 range, he's probably my favorite play because I could see this game. I could see Boston, having a solid lead and him getting a little extra time, and he plays regardless. So, I wanted to throw out kind of a value pick that I think might be lower owned. I will only play him in utility. I will not play him in the pro. So, Peyton Pritchard's my other play. What do you think about that? And who we got here for your final play?
Yeah, no, Pritchard's nice for that value play. He's averaging 14.2 minutes in the playoffs so far. His usage is not bad for the minutes, 14.9. So yeah, I do like him down there. I think unfortunately he's probably one of the more chalkier players down there, and I think a lot of people will be going to him at that 7K value because I think Sam Hauser's more of the hit and miss. His minutes are so in flux there. But Peyton Pritchard's, like you mentioned, he gets solid minutes, and he could potentially, if he starts hitting his shots, even get more minutes. That's the kind of, I guess, position he's playing. Like, get in there. You're going to get 10 to 15 minutes, but if you start getting high, you might get 20. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, no, I like him. Definitely, we'll be having him. Pro might be getting a little risky, but if he has one of those games, you never know. But there's quite a bit of stars above him that have that potential as well too. So yeah, no, like
for
the
sure.
play. So getting on in here to my last pick. I am going to go. If you didn't see it when I messed up there on my second pick, this is my the pick, Kyrie Irving. I like him. My one of another key leverage play here. I'm going to have him at both the MVP and star position at that 13.5K salary. Fourth highest salary on the slate. He's averaging 41.2 minutes. Usage is second to Luka, 29.5. He's averaging for the playoffs 37.6 fantasy. He's projected 38.5. We all know he has the potential to get even quite higher. It's either going to be Luka or it's going to be Kyrie. Having one the All Star game on that team. So where am I going to put him? At MVP, previous series, he was only averaging about 5% up in the MVP. At the star, he was at 21.7%. However, like, oh, that's not leverage. Well, think of it this, and for this series, you have Luka, Tatum, and Brown. So who's going to take the hit on the star position? And it's probably going to be Kyrie. Kyrie and Brown, you know, then people are going to look at the salary. Oh, I'm going to go with the 14K guy in the star. So I think Kyrie will probably be the lowest ownership at the star position for this series, at least to start off game one. So that's kind of where, and there's going to be so many Luka Tatum Luka lineups that even Brown ownership in the star, it'll be significantly low for this. I can guarantee that. And just think that Boston just gave up two games, game 3 and 4 to Indiana. They gave up 52 fantasy points to Andrew Nemhard. So
That's right.
Luca,
That's right.
so Kyrie can definitely get 50 points. So with that, I like him at both the MVP and the star. Obviously, MVP, you get more leverage, but the star is also a good spot for him. So what do you think about that? Third and final pick.
Yeah, yeah, no, awesome pick. I agree with everything you said. I will be playing him also at the MVP and the star. I will also be playing him at the pro. I mean, I'll have him up and down for sure. I think game one might be his best game, if unless it goes 6 or 7. I think he's going to go into Boston and want to show up and show out since, he didn't really leave there on good terms. So I'm sure they're going to boo every time he gets the ball. And Kyrie's the type of dude where when you claim you're going to come out and cover him, he's going to come out and abuse you, basically. So I could really see him having a big game one. So this would be the time to play him at the MVP or the star for sure. So I really like that play. Just a quick couple things before we get out of here. Back to that game that they played in March. A couple reasons. So just a couple reasons the Celtics won. Their bench scored 45 points. So the Celtics bench was doing amazing to where the bench for the Mavericks only had 20 points. And the rebounding was 52 to 37, and the Celtics had 14 offensive rebounds. So they won that. And then the Celtics had 30 assists and were really moving the ball around really well. And they kept they kept the Mavericks to shooting 32% from 3 point and 41% from the field. So, and also the Mavericks had 17 turnovers leading to 20 fantasy points. So, Derek White might be another type of dude. I could see some turnovers coming from the Mavericks for
Yeah.
sure. So, just a couple of facts that I had found that I thought stuck out, that I thought were important for you guys to have.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So with that, that wraps up our key plays and leverage potential here for the game one finals. It looks like we got 5 picks. We overlapped on PJ Washington. So before you go, please, if you made it this far, you go hit that like, that subscribe button, drop a comment down on who you think, what do you think of our plays. We like to hear. It does help out YouTube and its algorithm. Likes to see engagement. So help us out there. Also, we have MMA. We're getting into MMA on main slate DFS over there for DraftKings. So we should be dropping a video for this upcoming fight night here this week. So stay tuned for that, and all make sure you come back for game 2 and so on for this NBA finals. So with that, good luck. Hope to see you up on that leaderboard. David, go ahead and take us out.
Yep. Hey, good luck to everyone out there. Hey, let's go Boston Celtics. I got Boston taking this down in 6, 7 at worst. If it does go 7, it's going to Boston. But I got Boston in 6. So let's go Boston, baby. And good luck to everyone out there. And I'll see you guys for game 2.